Hello and welcome to Gunnar Weisskamp's Web Development. This is lesson 3 of part 2 of the last tutorial where we were on talking about .NET MVC Entity Framework, adding a database, data annotations, model state and more. So in the last one we added the details view, the edit view and the saving view, and talked about data annotations. In this section, my spelling's terrible. In this second part, SECOND, we are adding in the delete and the create actions in the CRUD application, and CRUD standing for create, read, update and delete. Okay, so with the wonders of my wonderful computer, let's go to our CRUD application here. Now, let's bring him down. I have copied and pasted the code over here, and I will highlight it to help out here. So this is all our code here. I'll try to scroll up nice and slowly so you guys can see it. There we go. So if you need to type it in, hopefully that makes it easier to see. Briefly talk about it. This is going to show our view. We've still got to add the view for that. So that's our get process. We could put a get there if we want. This is, as you can see, a post process. Again, posting is back to the server. This is when we save our new user to the database. This is our creation of the user. And here we've got our entity again. We've got this model valid check because you have to fill in certain information. As we mentioned in data annotations, we'll try to perform that check. Yeah, so that's our save process there. Next is this new delete action we're going to do. This is our getting process of the delete. We're passing in the ID of the user we're deleting, and this is where we get that the user that we need to delete back to the screen. So that's yeah, we get our user here via this Lambda expression. Remember I talked about the Lambda expression before. The DB context object is quite flexible. This is our table in our DB context, and this is one of the extendable functions of the entity framework. It does a find, looks for that ID, and then finds that user for that ID, puts it back in our user object, which is passed back into the view. And this is our post action of the delete view, of a delete action, and does more or less a delete action. Funny that. All it does is tries to find that user and and then the big call it deletes that user by the remove action from the entity framework. Here's that remove action. There are other ways of doing this. There's other code sets of doing this, but this is one of them. And then we call a special guy of the entity framework called the save changes, so it makes sure that object is removed. So that's it really. I'll just mention here we do redirect to this action thank you page. This is thank you page. I made that flexible. So we've got one view for this thank you page, as we talked about before, but instead of passing a save or item has been changed, we're just sending back a message that says item has been deleted, which goes back to this thank you view here. So that's a brief mention of that redirect action. Very handy when you're not returning a view. You can redirect to a different view. So now we've got to add in the views for all these new processes. So just to make sure, yes, we haven't got one for the create yet. So let's again right click, add view. Oh, wrong one again. We don't need to add a view for the post. So let's make sure we're connecting the dots here correctly. Add view for the get of the create action. So MVC already gives you a create object there, which you can align it with. and we want to make sure this is a model class, so we have to use our user models against that, and our data context class is aligned to our user data entity. These aren't ticked as in before. We click add, and by the magic of MVC we will have all our code again, just more or less the same as save or the edit one, but in this one the text boxes will be empty because they won't receive information of a person. Scaffolding's coming up. Right, okay, so let's just, while we're in the spirit of things, quickly do one for delete. Then we'll have all our actions for delete done. This is the get, add view for delete, and again MVC provides a delete action for that. And yes, we've got to make sure our model classes and our data context are set up just like before with our models and our entity framework there. So click add, and away the magic happens. And then we'll quickly dive in, have a look at each, the delete view and the create view, the CSHTML that is made up. Have a quick talk about each page. But I believe the syntax should be very similar. So let's quickly have a look at the create. In here, this HTML entity forgery token, that's a special tag which helps in security of an application. I won't get into the specifics of that, but he's a good guy to have. And again, it's just this HTML begin form. You might not notice that when you're initially working with this language. He's an important guy. You need him if you're submitting information. You notice that he is the mother one, and he is the start here. So everything that is being submitted is between his area. So you cannot submit in MVC without a HTML begin form tag. And just briefly again to mention this, if for people that are new, you can see here that the model has been tied into the user info. This, by having this here, you can then create this sort of process where you can strip out certain fields from that model, like ID, full name, and so forth. If we took him out, all this would fall over. So he needs to be there, but MVC does that for you. So yeah, and then obviously we've got our text boxes here. We've got our error messages because some items are needed. And then below here we've got our submit button. Quite straightforward stuff really. Yeah, so let's create. Delete is going to be more or less the same. Oh, surprise, surprise, there's no... Oh yes, yeah, okay, so here is our begin form. See, whenever you submit an action, it's the begin forms there. But I was expecting him to be these guys wrapped around him. I thought so. I thought that'd have to be. But hey, you win some, you lose some. But if you're going to submit, you need this begin form, put it that way, which we're seeing there. And again, we've got our model class placed in here because without him, we can't do this sort of action. We can't draw upon these fields, and we have to do some sort of other action. But by having this set up here, it makes things a lot easier. So that's our delete and create forms here. We're ready to build now and just test this baby out and see if everything works fine. I will pause it there for a second because the building might take a couple of minutes and I don't want to waste your time. So I'm going to put a quick pause in. Oh, excuse me. Okay, welcome back. So I've just built the app, and as we can see all our user information now. We've only got 3 records at this time. Yeah, so we're just going to demonstrate the create new and the delete functionality. So let's get straight on with it. Let's do the create new. There we go. So, whoa. This, yeah, I don't really like doing an ID in this. So with the ID, just a remark, when I created this database table first, I should have set the ID here with a primary key of seeding. A user should never be entering the ID of a person. Well, that's not true either, but anyway, there's a technical thing behind that. We're going to do it for this one, but it shouldn't have come up. And we need to enter 4, so let's just do that. And Roman, oops, what am I doing? It's a bit slow. Oops, oh. Right, Mr. Roman, and we'll make, I'm hoping the error message should come up, or will it, or have I spent enough time on that? Post, sorry, we're creating, aren't we? Have I allowed for that? No, I haven't really created that model correctly. And so we've demonstrated that before. See what I had to do is do that return view. Yeah, so I haven't done that correctly, but we did demonstrate that before, so you guys get the gist. If you enter 1 there, data annotations will stop that. And we can demonstrate via that with other views, so for the sake of time, we will put in the correct information, and this guy's going to be a doctor. There we go. That should be a valid entry, so we'll create that. But if you've been fortunate enough and been able to build this application with, again, data annotations, view it via the edit facility, you'll get the mechanics of how that works, and you can just repeat that process in any other parts of this. So there we have, we've added our doctor, Mr. Roman, 33, voila, simple as that really. Yeah, I think we talked about how the code works, so I won't rehash that. You know, it's gone into here. I can put a debug process on it, but yeah, yeah, I'll let you guys see it yourself, but there's really not much other magic behind it. So let's delete Mr. Roman. Did it pick up? Yeah, okay. The good thing of this MVC model is we will see a message coming up, which is why we add the view. You can't just delete straight off like that. It gives you an opportunity to cancel. See, are you sure you want to delete this? You can customize that obviously as you want. This is just the one that comes with MVC. So we've got our correct order there as well. Mr. Roman, 33, delete. I'm hoping this works. It should. I'm just concerned with the ID. I shouldn't have created the database like that originally, but due to the wonders of, oh, there we go. It did delete. We'll refresh the initial screen, but you can see here in the thank you message that deleted message came across. So we've made that thank you process here work for multiple different processes. So yeah, you could have a thank you message for multiple different actions, and this sort of process allows you to understand you don't have to have a thank you page, you can have or a thank you thing, you can have other logic which you can again use. You can use action results one action result from many different actions. Anyway, so quickly, let's just make sure he is gone, because I don't want you thinking I'm a liar. Let's refresh that. Mr. Roman's gone. Voila, we have done it. There is no magic here. Just the truth. So all is well with the world. Yeah, so hopefully you've gotten something out of that. I did enjoy bringing it to you. Feel free to visit my website. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm learning as I go for all this new technology, and I'm trying to make these tutorials as quick and as useful to everybody. Alright, that's it. Good night and good luck.